Hello and welcome. My name is Diana, and this is the Death Pile Diva Show. And guess what? I'm the Death Pile Diva. Today, actually, no. Well, every show, I was going to say today, but every show, I interview awesome resellers about their death piles and hopefully give them applicable advice. If I could talk, we'll see if that happens. Today, I have Erin with me. Welcome, Erin!
Hi,
Yay! Hello, thank you so much for coming on the show. Where are you, I guess, tuning in from or zooming in from, I should say?
Salem, Oregon.
All right, awesome. So Pacific time. Good.
Yep.
Wonderful. So let's see. We'll get a little background. So kind of give us like the little elevator spiel, what platforms you sell on, what type of items you have, the usual stuff.
So I am on Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, Kidizen. Um, I think that's it. I'm planning to start eBay next month. But I've been planning to do that for like a year, so we'll see if it actually happens. Um,
Okay.
and I'm on Whatnot. Um, I kind of specialize. My little niche is clean beauty. But I sell a bunch of everything else. So I have clothes, accessories, children's, men's, jewelry, bags. I have a bunch of it. But my little special area is clean beauty. So I'm really good about listing my clean beauty. Not so good at listing everything else.
Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. Seems like you're like super passionate about the clean beauty products.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Do you like what? I'm just curious for myself, like what type of clean beauty products?
So I have mostly skincare and makeup, but I do some bath and body and some hair care. Um, I'm finishing up a series on Instagram explaining bad ingredients to avoid in beauty products because most cosmetics, skincare, bath and beauty, hair care, sunscreen contains a lot of bad stuff that the EU and countries in Asia have already banned, but the US allows. So it is the consumer's responsibility, since it's not going to come from the corporations, to research the ingredients in our skincare. And your skin is your biggest organ. So what you put on your skin goes into your body. So it's really important that you do your due diligence when we're trained to look at the labels on food. We are not trained to look at ingredients everywhere else, but the ingredients are so important.
That is so true. You're right. Like I don't look at, the whatever's in my makeup, but I should. Like just like food, yeah, it's going in my body, like on in my body, same thing. Well, thank you for doing that series and for educating us. Because like you said, it's so you're right, it's not common at all to think about
No.
what's in what we put in our body or on our hair or in our mouth. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's a
And there's
lot.
so many bad things out there. I mean, I'm sort of aware, but not completely aware because like I'm learning as I'm doing this series and I'm just like, there's a lot out there that is just, and it's really sad that we have to do the research to
Right.
protect ourselves because the government's not doing it.
Yeah, I can't think of her account. Her name is Shay. I cannot think of her name on Instagram, but she's basically, she was a reseller. She probably still is a reseller, but has just moved to more, um, be like more focused on like holistic, like healing for herself and just looking
Yeah.
at what is in all these things. Even just, like she did one recently, like the mattress. Like, what's in your mattress? Like, we really don't think about all this stuff. So,
Yeah.
like, thank you for putting it out together and in chunks for us to
Yeah.
digest because,
And on each one I put screenshot or save this
yeah, no,
because there's so
absolutely.
many chemicals that I'm going through and some of them are pretty common like mineral oil. You wouldn't off the top of your head you probably wouldn't think there's anything wrong with mineral oil, but mineral oil is very easy to be contaminated with petrochemicals, which are forever chemicals. So unless you know that it's pure refined mineral oil, avoid it like the
Mhm.
plague because most companies don't do refined mineral oil.
Right. Interesting. Okay. So, and you said you have like pretty much like hair, skin, makeup, all kinds of those products in your closet. So, like,
Yep.
that's fantastic. That is awesome. So, about how many, so like for your listed inventory, what's like the total, a guesstimate, and how much of that is like clean beauty and how much of that is like other stuff?
So right now my Posh Closet has about 450 items listed. Probably about a quarter of it or so, maybe a little less than a quarter is clean beauty. The rest of it is clothing and accessories and other things. Um, I think that's about right.
Okay.
And then in my unlisted, I think I only have a handful of beauty that's not listed, like about less than 10 items to list there. But I have well over 200 clothing items, and I'm including shoes in that. And then I have about 20 or so handbags.
Hmm.
I have about 100 or so jewelry pieces that's not listed. And then I have about 100 or so other miscellaneous things that
Okay.
aren't listed. So I have one of my biggest problems is photography because we live in a very small house and photography is a problem.
Okay.
So
Like lighting or just like finding the space for it or
space. Yeah, I have a mannequin and um she's out in the garage and I'm hoping this weekend I have enough energy to pull her out and do some photograph of clothing outside
Mhm.
in the natural light. But otherwise I have to do flat lays on my bed or jewelry and healthcare really easy to photograph because I have a little light box that I can put those on. And
Right.
those are pretty easy because they're small and I can do those. But otherwise, I have to do flat lays, and I don't really like how flat lays look.
I feel you.
But
What you mean.
yeah, that's my biggest problem. And that's one of my deterrents too, because like, especially when I live in the Pacific Northwest, it rains a lot.
Yeah.
So when the weather's bad, I have zero motivation to try to photograph.
Yeah, no, I totally, yeah, if the weather's not good, like, because even though I do use a little bit of light, but it's mainly daylight. So if it's not nice out, I can't photograph. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And that becomes a real challenge, like trying to coordinate your business with the weather.
Yeah.
Hard.
See, flat lays I can do on my bed, and we have a sunlight bulb in there, so it's sort of natural, but I still have to edit them to make it a little brighter. But yeah, so I can do flat lays and the light box
Yeah.
year round. But the other problem with doing the flat lays is it really hurts my back. I can do about five, and then my back just dies after that. So
Right? No, it is just, I mean, like first like positioning it, making sure it's not wrinkled, and then you're like, like,
exactly,
like,
exactly.
oh, I know. Yeah, they just, and then I always, probably everyone, I fix it and then I stand up. Nope, there's more. Then I go back to, so
Yeah,
it's just like up, down, up, down, up, down. Like, oh my
and
gosh.
then trying to get it centered.
Hmm.
And sometimes like it's if it's pants or a skirt or something longer, I have to like do it above my head so I can't even see. So I have to take it
Right.
and then nope, that's bad. Try again.
Yep. I'm like snap, 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 snap. Yeah. Like, any of these get it? Like, okay. So, and also I meant to ask, are you part-time or full-time reseller?
So I've been part-time since I started, but I lost my job in January, so I'm kind of full-time,
Okay.
sort of. I've been doing a lot of stuff around the house and looking for a job, and so it's still sort of part-time, but I
Sure.
do have a little bit more time to dedicate to it than I did before.
Okay. Okay. We got, all right, so like part-time-ish. Um, and how long have you been reselling? I meant to ask that too.
So I started reselling. Well, I joined Poshmark in 2018. A friend of mine was showing how she was making all this extra money and I started just selling for I had a stack of things that I was going to donate anyway, so I listed them. Really bad photographs, and I'm really shocked they sold, but they sold.
Hey.
And the first thing I sold, I was like, holy crap, this is cool. So then I started pulling more stuff out. And then in 2019, I started to attend a few Posh and Sips in the Portland area because
Yeah.
there's a lot of resellers in the Portland area. And they do these little get togethers quite frequently, or at least they did before COVID.
Hmm.
And then right before COVID, in like December of 2019, I decided I was going to go thrifting and actually do it that way. And then, of course, COVID hit, and COVID hit right after my first trip to the
Oh
bins,
my gosh.
which was in
Oh,
February.
oh, it's like they're like,
And online
here's a sweet
arbitrage.
taste. I'm like, nope.
So I did a bunch of online arbitrage. I did a bunch of buying mystery boxes from different people. I bought a box from B&G. I bought a box from um, Jamar. I bought a box from Quick Lots. And the B&G box was probably the worst box that I bought.
Same. I
And
also.
I still have some of that stuff. Um, it's all listed, but it's been relisted like 12 times. But so that's where my death pile originated from, is I was buying all this stuff because I was like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to go thrifting and stuff. And so I was buying all this stuff. And, and then a friend of mine was just like, cause she could tell every time she talked to me how stressed I was,
Mhm.
cause it was in my living room and it was right by my desk from work. And so every time I looked at it, I just would, ugh. And so she's like, put it away and pull out small segments to photograph at a time, but just get it out of your sight. So I was like, okay, so we bought the cubes that I showed
Mhm.
you, and I started organizing them. I put them in bags. I had like all my shirts together, all my skirts together, all that. And I was like, oh, it's all organized. And then I realized, oh, my listed inventory is mixed in with my unlisted inventory. That was smart.
Oh man, you're like, wait.
So, um, so the one set of bins is I've gone through that whole section of bins and I put it on Vindu. Now, not all of it is listed, but at least it's in Vindu, and I know where everything what's in those bins and what's listed and what's not.
Hmm.
Now, all the rest of it is not in Vindu unless it's listed, and so I have a spreadsheet where I keep track of my costs,
Hmm.
and and then when I put it into Vindu, I find it on the spreadsheet and put the cost in Vindu. But what I'm
Gotcha.
hoping to do is get all of the unlisted inventory this year into Vindu so that can get rid of my spreadsheet and then just list from the drafts in Vindu.
Oh, I like that.
Um, but it's taking a lot longer than I thought because I have a lot more than I thought.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, but I like, yeah, just streamlining and making your processes simpler. I think that's, I mean, a big part of business, and just I'm going through that too. Like, all right, you know what? I've done it this way for a long time, and we're going to change, and it takes a long time to make that transition.
yeah,
But yeah, like in the long run, it'll
and
just.
I'm I've decided that this year I'm going to purge and get rid of stuff that I don't want to bother with, and stuff that I've relisted like 500 times. If it doesn't sell, it's going to go away. I'm just going to donate a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And I've got two bins in my son's room that weren't in the what I showed you. I've got two bins in, oh, there's a bunch in his room too. So I've got two whole bins in his room. That's stuff I'm going to donate. Most of it's listed. I am experimenting with something. I went through my closet and there's about 20 items that I just want to get rid of. So I marked them free with bundle.
Ooh.
And um, I've only gotten rid of one so far, but
Right, but yeah, trying different things.
Yeah, so and they've gotten lots of likes because I marked them to $9 or less so that they could either be bought or for $9 or less, or that somebody can add them to a bundle. So I've gotten lots of likes, and every time I get a like on one of them, I go, bundle this with any other item and you get it for free.
Yeah, like that's
Hoping,
amazing.
come on. But no go yet on most of those. But it's just like, come on, people. I can't reduce it from $5.
Right, right.
It is what it is.
Like, come on. I know, but I like that. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Like you said, just moving stuff out. Yeah, especially like you are clearly, like I was saying, so passionate about clean beauty. Like you could see like that's where like your light is. So
Yeah.
definitely, and also the fact that it's like you said, smaller, easier to photograph. You don't have to, wait for like the weather to agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. I
definitely.
would like to transition. And what I'd like to do is get all of my clothing sold,
Mm.
well, listed and sold because a lot of it's not listed. Um, and transition to the smaller pieces like accessories and beauty and jewelry so that I don't have to worry about space and because that stuff doesn't take up hardly any room.
Right.
And yeah, but I could, because I have so much, it's going to take a while to transition to that, but that's where I'm progressing. So I've been trying to avoid spending on sourcing and I've been doing pretty good. But Whatnot gets me all the time because I get sucked in and I'm like, oh, that's such a good deal. And then, yeah. So
Oh.
for example, I bought a lot of exotic wear.
Ooh.
All It all has tags. I think it's all vintage, like
Ooh.
because the tags look really old, but it's all G strings and bikini tops and exotic wear. So this is why I need to start on eBay because I'm going to put that all on eBay. But I got it so it was a lot of like 90 items for $25. So it worked out to 31 cents
Whoa.
an item. So I was like, even if I sell for $5, I'm making money.
Yeah, that is a good deal. And yet,
So I
vintage
had to do
lingerie.
it. And I was just like, I need to stop buying all this stuff.
Well, I've had to delete some apps because I just always go to them.
Yeah. Well, Whatnot, I signed up under beauty and
Hmm.
in January and they were doing a special for beauty. I didn't know it when I signed up. Because you can sign up under multiple different categories and I just was like, "Oh, let's sign up under beauty." Well, little did I know that there would do a promotion on beauty.
Hmm.
And so I got approved like right away, like within an hour, I got approved and got my onboarding scheduled and everything. And she goes, okay, so since you signed up in beauty, if you do 2 shows a week in the first month that you're with us, you will get a bonus of $75 a show. But it's only the beauty shows and no commission for a month on anything you sell. So I was like, so I scheduled 2 shows a week and I got an $850 bonus.
Yeah, that's yeah, like $75 per show.
Uh-huh. And I
Yeah,
had no commissions.
whatever.
Yeah, and then after I met my requirement, I was like, because that's a lot of work doing 2 lives a week.
Yeah.
So I took a break and I need to get back on because I was doing decent. Um, I need to get back on, but that kind of burned me out for a bit of live shows. So
Understandable.
now I need to get back on, get
Yeah.
back on what now I can start selling again.
No, I know, like people who do two or more shows a week, I just I admire them. Like one show knocks me out. Like,
I know because it's so much work I mean, I'm just doing beauty, but I have to pull out all the beauty, figure out what I'm going to sell in that one, put them all in the show, get them all staged so that I can put one. But the good thing about beauty is you don't have to be on camera. So,
right, like beauty and jewelry, yeah, you could just like
yeah.
have that.
So, but getting it all staged and ready to go and stuff. And one of them, I did a giant show that I was on for over 2 hours and I had everything that was skincare. Yeah, I was doing just skincare. So I had my entire inventory of skincare out, and it took like 2.5 hours to go through it all. But I did sell some. I didn't sell as much as when I did the hour-long show, but I
Hmm. That's awesome. Yeah,
so
just like you said, trying new things. Yeah, seeing like, let me do this time. Let me do this. Yeah,
yeah.
figure it out. Okay, so definitely, yeah. So you've done like the live selling with beauty and everything. Would you feel comfortable doing it with some of the other pieces you want to kind of just like move
So
out?
I've done on Poshmark and one on Mercari. No, one on Whatnot. I did a $3 start on clothing, just to get rid of stuff, and I only sold one item, which was really disappointing. Um, but it was because it was zero commissions because it was in that first month.
Okay.
I didn't get the bonus for that show because it wasn't a beauty show, but I did get the no commissions on it. So I was like, well, let's just see if I can get rid, but I only sold one thing. So that was disappointing. But I have done um Instagram live shows with clothing. I've done Poshmark live shows with clothing. I've done Clubhouse sales with clothing and
Yeah.
shoes. Um I did my first story sale earlier this year on Instagram with beauty, and sold like four. No, wait, I sold two bundles.
Oh,
I think
nice.
one bundle had like four things, and one bundle had like three things.
Oh, nice.
Um, so I think I'm going to do another story sale, um, maybe with clothing. I really want to do another Poshmark live with $3 starts just to get rid of some
Yeah,
inventory that's not listed, so I don't have to list it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, but when I do a live show with clothing, I have to do it in my son's room, which
Hmm.
kind of puts him out. And right now his room's a disaster, so I can't do a show right now.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think like you were saying earlier, moving some stuff out. Yeah, I would just, oh my God, I would have a field day. Like just like get a bag, yeah, like whatever, kind of like that Marie Kondo, like does this
Yeah,
joy? I'm like, nope. And I will say, I do love how she like says goodbye and like thanks the item and everything. I think that's really great. Like, I think if anyone watches my live shows, sometimes I have to do that with purses. Like, I love you, bye bye.
yeah. That's kind of what we watched that during COVID, and we started doing that, purging our own closets.
Right.
And now somehow they're fuller than they were before we did the purge. I don't know how that happened, but
I know you made room, Like,
and then we bought apparently more than we got rid of. But yeah, so it's just a never ending. And
it,
my husband's like going through all his electronics stuff right now, purging stuff, and he goes, "Can you sell this?" Yeah, sure. So now I've got a stack of electronic stuff that
mm,
and that I think that's harder for me to sell than anything else because I'm not familiar with it. So I have to research it and find out
right.
what's fair price. And like he went through all his video games a while back, and I've listed all the video games, and I've sold quite a few of his video games.
Hmm.
Um, but the random equipment, I'm like, I don't even know what this is. So let me research it, find out what it is.
Maybe because my husband, he sells a lot of electronics. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, also, he doesn't know what they are half the time. It's amazing. And he'll still sell them. So like you don't totally have to be like knowledgeable of the item.
Yeah. I just said I need to know enough to describe it and
Right.
list it.
Yeah, like right.
And so, but because I'm not, because I know I have to do more work with it, it sits in a box.
No,
It's like,
totally.
I don't
Yeah,
want to deal with it right now.
understandable.
So,
Do you
now
think
some of it I
maybe
do know what it is. Like he gives me a controller. So
right.
I've sold a couple controllers for him, and I've sold, um, well, I just sold a pair of his sunglasses. He had some Oakley sunglasses I just
Mm,
sold for him.
nice.
Um, so some of the stuff I'm like, okay, this is easy. I can take pictures of this. I can figure it out. But some of it's like, I don't even know what it is.
Right.
I'm gonna have to, so that can sit over here for a little bit.
Do you think you could do like lots maybe on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that?
Maybe I haven't done hardly anything with face. I played around with it once and I didn't sell anything, so I haven't played around with it anymore. But I really need to get on eBay because I know a lot of this stuff will sell pretty well on eBay, and like
Especially
that
electronic.
exotic wear stuff will sell pretty good on eBay.
Hmm.
And I don't want to put the exotic wear in my posh closet because it's not at all what my vibe is
Right,
on
right.
on any of my platforms. So I'm just like, that's gonna go into eBay because I'm not
Yep.
putting
Oh,
it on any.
absolutely. No, I have some items where I'm like, yeah, no, you're not gonna go in my Poshmark closet. You're gonna go in my Mercari closet, okay? Like, you
And
belong
Mercari,
here.
I just everything that I have on Posh, I just cross list over to Mercari.
Mhm.
And but I don't do a lot on Mercari, but when I get a sale on Mercari, it's like, oh, nice. Same
Right,
with Kidizen. Kidizen, I do nothing. I just cross list and that's it. And when I get a sale on Kidizen, I'm like, oh, nice.
right. Oh yeah,
Bonus
I'm on that
sale.
platform. Oh
Because
yeah, yeah.
Kidizen is like very heavy into sharing, and I don't do any of the sharing on Kidizen.
Yeah, no. Once I
So
learned that, I was like, I'm never logging back in.
yeah, so I consider it a bonus sale because it's
Absolutely.
just a click of the button on Vindu. So I'm like, might as well just get it on there. So I've
Yeah.
sold, 4 or 5 things on Vindu. I mean, on Kidizen, not
Okay.
not anywhere close, but I've sold a few items on there. So
Yeah. And like you said, if it, it's so easy to cross those with Vendu, and then like you just wait for a sale.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
okay, I
just
can do
like,
that.
whatever. Depop, I'm a little bit more tailored. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't list everything on, but I did just start realizing I could list my beauty over there. So I've been listing my beauty over there, and I sold a I sold a full price bundle on a beauty over there a
Oh,
couple
nice.
weeks ago, which was a shock because I was like, I get ghosted so much on Depop that it's like people make me an offer, I accept it, then they're gone. I wish they had binding
I was
offers. I
like,
really do.
I don't
Or
understand why they don't. Like, what is the benefit? I don't get
I don't know, but I get ghosted so much on Depop that when somebody, when I get a notification that I sold something, I'm like, really? Are you sure?
it. Yeah,
Really?
right?
Not just that it's
I don't
just not
trust
an
you.
offer that they're gonna ghost me. And so I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And on Depop I have the free shipping on bundles marked.
Mm.
So
Okay.
so I was like, but otherwise I use my own shipping for Depop because um
Yeah.
it's just easier and I can maybe make up a little bit on the shipping. I'm pretty accurate with my shipping rates on there.
Yeah.
Um, ex- except the international I have jacked way up.
Oh, me too. I'm like, you want it? 500 million.
So I had this lady message me. I have these 2 Lord of the Ring collectible bowls. And
Oh.
I had this lady message me on Depop and she goes, would you be willing to ship to Australia? And I said, absolutely. I said, if you give me your postal code, I can look up the actual shipping and reduce it because I jack my international shipping way up, but I can reduce it for you with your actual. And she goes, okay, I have a post office box. And then she's gone. Nothing.
I don't,
I'm
I,
like,
I don't know.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay.
So,
But I love that Depop, like, I didn't know they had beauty, but I feel like, especially for clean beauty, right? Because Depop is more like cool and hip and like, I mean, I know it's
yeah.
like everything, but it's very like Gen Z, and I feel like they're really into clean, holistic type stuff. So I think that would be a really good place for it.
Yeah. So I started cross listing everything over to Depop, all my beauty over to Depop. And the only thing I struggle with on my beauty is tags because or
Mm.
the the style category. I usually leave it blank because I'm just like I have no idea. It's skincare.
Right, right. Like,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah,
so
exactly.
most
Like
of them I just
every
leave it blank. But sometimes, Like I have eyeshadow palettes that are like definitely catered towards like one of them I tagged as Western,
Okay.
one of them I tagged as goth because
Hmm.
there's those. So I can do eyeshadow, but the rest of it I'm just like it can go with anybody. I don't know. Leave
Exactly.
it blank.
Yeah.
So
Every genre deserves to be pretty.
so yeah, so most of it I leave blank, but I have started cross listing over there, and I love. So I have the paid subscription to Photo Room,
Okay.
and because I love their AI backgrounds, and
Hmm.
I all my listings on Depop have an AI background as the first
Cool.
picture. So I just take my cover picture from Posh and run it through. So I take the picture, run it through Photo Room to get the white background, and then I run it through Photo Room a second time with the AI background, and I put both of them in the listing. But with Posh, the AI background's the last picture,
Ooh,
and on Depop, it's the first picture.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, this way, like check the box, like Google, okay, whatever, we're still gonna be found, but like adding a little more creativity for the
Yeah,
Depop
because Depop
crew.
doesn't like the white backgrounds.
Right. They're all like, make it cool and funky and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know they're like, model your
So,
stuff. I'm like, no.
nope, I'm not modeling it. Nope.
Yeah. Like, no, thank you. Okay. But let's see. So what would be like your goal, if we could say we have one, with your death pile unlisted inventory? Like, where do you think you'd want to be?
Well, ideally, I would like to have. So I think it's always good to have a little bit in the death pile
For sure.
for
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
don't
some
have
people
time
say
to
they want to
sort.
be like death pile free, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
understand that, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I've been trying. So last year and this year, well, last year I was very consistent listing one item a day. Um, I missed a few days here and there, but I was very, because I was like being very intentional listing one item a day.
love that.
So this year I bumped it to two items a day. I have not been as consistent
Mhm.
this year. Um,
Do you feel like it's like a time
I've
constraint?
been trying to do two new listings a day and five relists a day.
Okay.
And uh, last month and this month, it's been about 50-50.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I need to get back to my every single day thing, but I'm out of drafts. So now I need to photograph because
Mm.
I'm out of drafts, which is another reason why I haven't been doing it because I need to do photographs. And right now, photographing is just like, because my back is already hurting and I know it's going to kill my back. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay.
How many
I'm
drafts do you
kind
have
of,
now?
I'm kind of burned out on inventory and accessories right now because that's what I've been listing for the past month and a half is that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to get some clothing listed because I'm kind of burnt out on doing those.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It makes sense to switch it up. Yeah. When you get tired of one, kind of pop to the other and go back and forth.
because
Just
usually when I do my photography, I do it in batches. So like I
Mhm.
do like all my beauty at once, a bunch of
Right.
jewelry at once. But then I get bored because I like to mix things up. But if all I have in my drafts is jewelry, then it's jewelry,
Mm.
jewelry, jewelry.
Okay.
So I I need to figure out a way to easily photograph a variety of things rather
Hmm.
than just, but it's so much easier to photograph the same thing over repeat.
Right.
You don't like when I do my measuring, it's really easy because on a t-shirt it's pit to pit and length. That's it.
Right.
Done.
Hmm. I wonder. Well, maybe because if you do like the beauty and like jewelry in the like little light box, maybe you could do like a jewelry and then a beauty, a jewelry, then a beauty. Just
Yeah.
kind of because I know when I do clothing, like I'll do like a hanger one and then a dress form. Just 'cause the same thing. Like I just want to keep my brain
Yeah.
entertained. So does any little change, I think, yeah, like yeah, you don't want to be bouncing from like setup to setup. Like that would
Yeah.
be
Exactly.
like
And so I have talked to a lot of people and everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of people love jeans. They're like, this is the easy thing from the world. For I hate photographing jeans.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I hate it.
I
And
just hate jeans.
I have a whole, I have like 20 pairs of jeans that I need to photograph. And I'm just like, but I hate photographing jeans. I think it's because it's really hard when you're doing a flat lay on the bed to
Totally.
take the full length picture. I
Right.
think that's the reason I hate them so much. Because otherwise, they are actually fairly easy to photograph, except for that full length picture.
Right.
And the measurements are fairly standard. So
Yeah.
I just need to get over my block with that. Because then I can list all the genes all at once.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wonder if, how old is your son, if you don't mind me asking?
he is 16 and he helps me a lot, but I used to have him do my photography for me. But he's not really good about getting things centered. So
Hmm.
like things will be cut off and then I have to rephotograph it anyway.
Right.
Um,
And that's a frustrating
so
itself.
yeah. And then he gets mad when I rephotograph something he photographed because he's like, what? I didn't do it good enough. I'm like, sorry, it's cut
Right.
off. I have to do it.
Right. What if he, like, what if you were, because yeah, definitely like we got to be in control of the camera. And then what if he stayed like on the ground kind of and like put the gene out? So this way you're not like up and down,
Going
like
up and
putting on
down.
the
Yeah.
gene. So maybe if he could just help like with the like, okay, put it out, take it down, put it out, take it. So this way you're
Yeah.
not like literally going up and down constantly because that is it's
Yeah.
a
I'll have to experiment with him because he, like when we do the mannequin outside, he's really good. Like he'll hand me the next item and I'll take it off and hand him the item. And
okay.
so we have that. We can do that with a mannequin. He's pretty good about that. And he does help me a lot with like, I'll tell him I sold something and he'll go get it out of my inventory. And,
What a
but I
sweet,
do like packaging it up. So,
of
cause
course.
he's like, I'll package it for you. I'm like, no, that's my favorite thing to do.
Like, no, no. Like, no, I want it to look nice.
I'll package it up. That's fine. Um, because I write a thank you card and I pick out some stickers and
Oh.
I try to have my stickers semi match what they bought. So like if they
Hmm.
bought beauty care, I have some beauty stickers. If they bought kid stuff, I do have some kid stickers or
Nice.
so I try to match it to what they bought and
Yeah.
but that's my favorite part is packaging up sales.
Right, right. Yeah, like we get to add our own little touch to it, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Awesome. Okay. And then oh, my I'm going to say it's my last question, but it probably isn't. Um, what like do you have like a set time or like routine for listing, or is it kind of like when you can find a moment, you do it?
I usually do it in the late evening. I've been trying to mix it up a little bit, like do my listing one part of the day and my relisting at another part of the day.
Mhm.
And I'm in a couple of share groups and do the share so that way I'm on the app a lot of times. But most of the time I end up forgetting that I've decided to do it that way. And I'm like, oh, it's bedtime. I guess I should do my listing right now.
Right.
And
Creature
then
of
I end up
habit,
doing it
right?
all at night. So I've been trying like, okay, let's do the shares at bedtime and let's do the listing whenever and let's do the relisting at this time. But I don't have a set time. Maybe if I made a set time, I'd be more consistent.
I have a reminder on my phone to relist because I kind of the same, like I would always relist in the morning, but like it was like I find relisting early morning or like late night is really good. And I was relisting at like noon. I was like, well, this like not really where I want it to be. So now I have like my nighttime reminder on my phone. So like,
Yeah.
hey, relist because yeah, like the same. I would just constantly do what I was used to it. I'm like, no, this isn't what I planned. So much for hanging out and chit-chatting and telling me all of your things. I'm just so grateful that you wanted to hang out and chit-chat for a little bit. So thank you so, so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And guys, in the caption description of this video, I will have all of Erin's Poshmark and Instagram info so you can keep up with her and her journey. And be sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Death Pile Diva Show, where I will talk to more resellers and talk about more death piles. See you on the flip side.